but she needs food and then some, so I'm gonna give her Calorie Builder. I was just working in the garden and I heard some chickens screaming. Now Elise has a prolapse. It's graduation day. They're moving to where they're gonna temporarily live.
You're a small one. You want to come?
They're being pretty good, look. Okay, we'll just be moving chickens. If you'll remember, my neighbor had me raise these chicks for him. He wanted more eggs because he sells eggs at farmers markets. I raised these chicks in the wintertime so that they would be ready to lay in the late spring, early summer. And that's a really good idea, but you have to make sure you have control over the heat. These chickens are fully feathered right now, so I wouldn't worry about them like too much, but I personally would give them a little bit more heat. We've been in the 80s and 70s in February. Today it's really cold again. So I provide them with heat just to make it a little bit more stress-free. I'd rather give them a preventative over the alternative of being sick and having to treat them then or having them die. Yeah, I'll have to bring him some food and water. We'll have a good time in the grass. Alright. They've got this upper portion to go into as a roost, or they can just be out of the rain under here. So all 37 chickens delivered. This is a secondary pen until they get big enough to join the rest of the flock. These birds are now handed over and are no longer in my care. Because in a very short time I'm getting meat chickens for my neighbor, so this brooder needs to be cleaned out and sanitized for those baby chicks. This is 50% plain Listerine and water, and I mixed that to disinfect all of my bird things. We've got the barn open today at 70 degrees and the wind's blowing, so it'll dry it out and have it ready for tomorrow, which potentially we could be getting the Cornish cross. I don't really know for sure. It's gonna be real strong. This is a sanitizer concoction that I found when I was raising quail. I put it on pretty thick and put it everywhere and then let it air out and dry real good with the barn open. Just like any baby, you want to have it super clean because they can catch things really easily. Alright, this had about a day and a half to air out and everything, so the smell of the Listerine's gone. I'm not going to say it's the cleanest thing ever, but it's as clean as I could get it. It'll be good. I'm heating this up and I've got the heat lamp on. It's like 74 degrees today. And we're getting it set up for the new chicks. Alright, here they are. There's only 20 this time, so it's weird because I had 40 layered chicks and the last time we did Cornish cross I had 50 of them, so they're huddled under here. Even though it's 70 something degrees today, they need to stay at almost 100 degrees and they're this small. Food's coming. There is a chart on whelp hatchery, or probably a lot of hatcheries with meat chickens, to show you how much feed per day they need and what gain they'll get. Since the chicks are here and they want to buy the feed, so they want to know how much they need to buy. So this is how I do it. Assuming that I'm raising these chicks through the first 3 weeks when they can be fed 24/7, 2.5 pounds per bird would be what I need. Times, I think he has 28 chicks, which is 50. Assuming they're raising these to 9 weeks, 22 pounds of feed, minus the 2.5 during the time that I feed them would be 19 pounds of food times 20 chicks, which is 380, 430 pounds in total. Divided by 50-pound bags, 9 bags. Don't think I did this without a calculator or this quickly. I don't math.
I know, Sophia.
You ready to make some magic? Ready, John? Okay, now y'all can't watch this time. Well, John was ready this time, and we are now expecting bunnies in March from both of these. Rooney's first, and then Sophia. I am super excited about baby bunnies because they're so freaking cute. Just bought this bunny thing, and I wanted to be prepared before we even breed, so that we're prepared when the babies come. So I'll need to cut some holes for the feeders, or just put crocks in there. Scrap plywood, and I'm gonna give it to the bunnies to have a resting spot. Slash, I'm sure it'll be a chew toy. John, would you like a resting spot? It's okay. Okay, that's your little rest spot. That is for you to do what you want with.
She wouldn't bite.
With all these crazy weather changes, 80s one week, 40s the next week, we decided to put a hay bale in the pig pens again. This is our second one this year. There's a few reasons we have this hay bale in the pig pens. One is to keep the cows out of it because they poop in a lot of it. And then 2, because it's easy access to the pigs. We can either feed them hay or fill their houses with hay to keep them a little bit warmer. Hay to come get the sheep and goats. And the pigs have it too, to either eat it or lay in it or play with it, whatever. Next year, since we're going to have a whole lot less cows, we're going to plan for a hay bale for each of the 7 pig pens. We had noticed Jenny getting a little bit skinny. She's been with Neville because they're in a breeding pair right now. And if we move her to eat by herself, then she won't get bred potentially. We need to make sure she's already bred. So I'm moving her, and we're going to get some extra calories on her and make sure those babies are able to grow big and strong too. It's not good for her or the babies to be thin. Jenny's kind of obvious when she goes through heat, so if she does, then we'll put her back with Neville for a little bit. I'm going to grab that calorie builder, and we're going to give her an extra pound of food. Two tablespoons worth. This also means Neville's going back on a diet. Yeah, she's the only one we've weaned her piglets at 6 weeks because she gets so skinny after nursing. But she hadn't had pigs tulips in maybe last summer. She's a good producer though. This is Mustang Sally, one of the ones from the house. She gets hand fed. This is her spot. There you go. Let me start this portion off by saying I am not new to chickens. I've had them for years. When they're this size, they knock over their water all the time and it makes a mess. So this is why I wanted to speed them up and graduate them. But they're going to keep knocking that water over, so I'll just leave it open and they can graduate today. I think they'll be fine. They'll just have to find their pecking order with the rest of the flock. And I'm sure one of the hens will jump into this pen, but whatever. I just started calling Winky's friend Poppy, so it's Winky and Poppy. They already have a friend. This is one of the olive eggers. That has to happen. It sucks, but it has to happen. She's like, I am no longer the newbie. They seem to be making pretty good friends with this olive egger. But 2 days later, I was just working in the garden and I heard some chickens screaming. I scooped them up as fast as I could and just put them in here. This was done by the other hens pecking her. Y'all see. Now, Mavis, my turkey, had some huge open wounds on her and I put blue coat on it. I know that has a lot of alcohol in it, so I know it stung. And then I'm not trying to really make this bird hurt, so I have this. I'm gonna try that. So I'm gonna just try to squirt it on her. I'm not sure I can get the camera in here, but I'm gonna have to do this with both hands. Okay, I got it in there and a pretty good amount. Oh, I thought because the other ones were about that size, like when they started knocking over the water, I just put them out. I was like, they have to get used to it anyway, but I was talking with my friend and she said to give her a concoction, like a natural antibiotic, and then try to get bag balm or some kind of antibiotic for that open wound. I'm gonna give her that in her water for 3 days and that should help her fight infection. A little bit of honey. This is that apple cider vinegar. She's over here eating and drinking like nothing happened. It may not look like it, but it looks a lot better. It looks like it stayed pretty clean too. This is the first day Abby has left the greenhouse for some kind of adventure. Her food is still here. Everybody keeps telling me that don't worry about it, she'll come back. Even though she's a jerk to me and never really lets me pet her. Will you let me pet you? Okay. Yeah, see why she's a jerk? And then she knocked my plant over. Okay, fine. I'll just feed you for the rest of your life, whatever. And she's not spayed, so I don't want her out there making babies. Day 2. Now Abby. Day 3, and Abby's still not back. Her food was eaten, but we don't know if it was raccoons. So it's going from 82 today to a low of 48 tonight. So I'm closing the greenhouse. Hopefully she knows where that cat door is, or she's waiting for food in the morning. Look who's back. It's about freaking time. What? This is what I wanted to record. you excited? Come on. Well, Valentine's is come and gone and no baby lambs. So I guess we're still waiting. You're a funny looking sheep. Come off the food. You can see they have a pretty good layer of hay here for babies to come starting next week. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, she did this last year, so I'm not freaking out too bad, Elise. Keep your insides inside, okay? We're making wind blocks for the barn so that new baby goats won't get too cold. So I should have put it flat. It's gonna fall on you, Grace. That's an even funner toy. It's gonna fall. I'm gonna laugh. You'll need a rock wall next. In your playground. Here they are. At least they can get out of the wind and the babies can get out of the wind when they're born. Which is going to be undoubtedly the night it's 17 degrees. It is frigid out here. Whew, I knew I looked good in this hat, but I didn't know I looked this good. We just got done feeding the pigs. Derek noticed that Remus, one of the smaller pigs, is sick because he didn't come up to get feed. He was laying down and he was real slow. So I'm getting him some antibiotics. This weather this year, the ups and downs, we may run out of antibiotic. We had to have him run around for a little bit before I just had to stab it and inject it. And he feels much better today. He's eating, running, and a little bit of that. Okay. Now Elise has a prolapse. I have to warn you here, it's going to be a little bit graphic, so click away now if you don't want to see it. This is part of farming. She's a week away, and this. Oh gosh. Since she was about 10 days away from giving birth, I'm giving her CD&T so those babies can get it through the colostrum. Good girl. Good girl. It's for you and your babies. There are several people here on YouTube that I watch, including Enoch the cow vet, Sheepishly Me, Blue Cactus Dairy Goats. They've all dealt with prolapses, and even though Enoch is a vet, the other ones are just the farmers, and they've done this several times by themselves.
I know. We go in?
She for a minute, and then she pushed it back out. I was recording from my phone, but I also had to watch the video of how to make this harness, so I couldn't do both at the same time. I can see your faces from the other side of the screen. I know this is gross, but the longer I do this, the less things affect me. It's still gross to me, but I have to do it to help my animals. So this is what goes into animal husbandry. Yeah,
I
it's
know.
gonna be uncomfy, but so is your hoo-ha sticking out of you. It actually didn't take her long and she was used to it. It's not all that tight. I'm gonna link below the video where I learned how to do this tie. It's from Blue Cactus Dairy Goats. We'll see what happens. I know that on Sheepishly Me she uses a spoon in the back, but I've never seen a spoon for a goat, especially a miniature goat. Checked her ligaments to make sure she wasn't going to have the babies that night because I was worried about the harness being in the way. She seemed fine, so hopefully she holds off. The next day she had everything still inside that was supposed to be inside, so we took the harness off even if it was to replace it at the end of the day, but she never pushed it back out, so I think it really helped her just kind of tighten everything back up. I promise babies are coming, so subscribe. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I upload Wednesdays and Sundays, and you can keep watching us grow our farm. Have a good one.